one's for me, Julie.
Did you do it?
Absolutely. There has to be a poem when I write it. But first, my speech. I remember when Julie first came to Valley, and quite a few of us were upset because they made her an underwriter. We've been trying to be underwriters for quite a while. And especially when she went on and on about how old she was with a glorified grader in her past job. Never done that. That's what she told us. I was just a glorified grader.
Well, I knew you guys were never going to be underwriters.
Right. It wasn't long before she wiggled her way into our hearts. She was dynamic, hardworking, ambitious. She continued on with her CPCU. She joined Insurance Women, and we went to a Region 9 conference in Vancouver, BC, where she was up for Rookie of the Year. We were sitting at a back table. Here it was time, and they got up and they were talking about the Rookie of the Year. Julie was out of her chair and halfway up to the podium when they announced somebody else's name. She's still pissed off. She should be, because she should have had it. On that trip, we told a lot of secrets, and we played the game, if you owned the company, who would you fire? Which is a fun game. It's a fun game. All mine are gone. I outlived them all. And she told us, we told each other, all these secrets. But there was one secret she would never tell. Are you ready to tell me that secret yet? No. We learned a lot about each other, probably more than we wanted to. But it was a lot of fun. And we came back, we kind of close. Her and Pam Kingsley and I were like the three musketeers, and then Pam Kingsley moved into marketing, and it was Julie and I, and all the rest were men underwriters. It's us against them. But we worked hard. She saw an opportunity to advance. She took on the processing department. She made a success of it and got moved on up to manager. But I'll remember times like the bottle of wine, the HO5 seminar at the Coast, when we had to walk to the restaurant because we drank before dinner.
What's she gonna be?
I'm going to remember that she encouraged me to go on to CPCU because I asked her, it's 8 years ago or so, I said, why would I want to take the CPCU? It'll take me 8 years. And she says, where are you going to be in 8 years if you don't? Wishing you had done it. And I agree with her now. But did you guys hear about the jokes that she used to play? How about the one that she played on poor Andy Trower? Whom, after all, came her boss after that, which would have been really awful if I'd have been in on.
Yeah.
Her and Eric. Nope, I wasn't in on this one.
Oh, yeah. Your
Andy
nose
had
is
gotten
growing.
Andy had gotten his CPCU. And they decided that maybe they should do something for Andy since he had just done something for Eric. So they got Dawn to scan the CPCU letterhead and wrote this letter, and it told Andy that they were withholding his CPCU designation because he had violated one of the canons. Phil Click was in on it, put a little sticky note, you know how he does, see me, Phil, puts it on the, walked out, puts it on the desk, walks away. Well, this is when we were all totally open. We didn't have cubicles. Everybody's, of course, watching. I wasn't there. I heard the story. I'm talking about. Andy gets up, his hands are shaking, his face is white, and he walks through the building. As he walks past the desk, everybody gets up behind him and walks. Because they all want to see what's going to happen when they get to Phil Click's office. So they get in there, and just as Andy goes to Phil Click's office, somebody's in there, so he backs up, and you see all these people just went like this around the corner, so he couldn't see him. So then he goes in the office, and they get there just in time to hear Phil saying, I'm sorry, Andy, I can't, defend you if you did that. And so, of course, they walk in, and Eric tells them that, you should never try to play a trick on me. And poor Andy, he was so relieved, just thought he had it. He wasn't going to get a CPCU. And he goes home and tells his wife, and she laughs. Well, and then there was Bruce, of course. I was going to tell his story, but he did well. And then there was the time that Eric was in talking to Karen Rayleigh. And we made a wanted poster for Eric. He had had his picture taken to send out to the agents. And so, of course, we get Dawn in on this. We had a big old wanted poster to talk about, and we took it in, and Andy was in on this deal. He goes in, and he hands Karen the wanted poster without letting Eric know what it was. Karen opens it up, and here's this wanted poster. He picks it up, looks there, and says, what's this, Eric? Oh, he didn't appreciate that at all. He was only there.
Second day.
Second day he was there. Well, then we made the Eric bucks. Did you guys see the Eric bucks? Every time you'd ask Eric a question, he'd say $5. So we made up $5 bills with his picture on them. So next time he asked it, we all whipped out our $5. And then there was my agent named Norm Stuckey. She took a phone call from him. She proceeded, I probably shouldn't use his name, I'm sorry. No, I'll say it's Bruce. And she told him what he sent in was bad business. It took me months to get that man down off the ceiling. I said, don't ever talk to Julie again. Then there was Kathy, the poor assistant underwriter, whom Julie told that they docked the raters for every error they made. And so she goes downstairs and she's talking to the raters and they're all in on it. And they can't, she says, I can't believe they docked you for this. And one of them says, well, yeah, I can't pay my babysitter. Another one said, I can't make my car payment. She comes back upstairs and she's just going, I can't believe this. So then Julie sends a memo around saying that not only are we going to dock the raters, but for each one the underwriters and assistants fine, we'll get 50. You came like a breath of fresh air. You blew into Valley with your pretty blonde hair. Just married to Dennis, a week or just 2. You worked so hard, like a keeper in a zoo. Our computer system sucked, was antiquated and old. You stepped back in time, or so we were told. It was Shelter did this, and Shelter did that, until we were ready to hit you with a bat. Shelter had a system that was better than ours. Shelter had COLA and shorter working hours. They did everything better. You did go on and on. Their advantages in people, we wished you were gone. But it did not take long before fast friends we were. Many foul deeds and jokes were played by you and me. You played tricks on friends and non-friends alike. Your imagination was active. No one knew when you would strike. It was without warning and usually a direct hit. The bullseye each time with laughter and wit. I'm sure it's not over, though a manager you be. There's still people to get, just as long as it's not me. I'm glad that you're here, all the things we have done. You struggled and worked, and now you have won. Valley is lucky to have an employee like you. You're an asset to all in all that you do. I'm proud to know you. Say, remember Vancouver, BC? What's that one thing you would not tell me? Oh well, it doesn't matter now. You are the special one, 'cause the years have been short and the times have been fun. Congratulations, Julie.